Wednesday as we enter into the third day of Holy Week. We're getting nearer the cross and nearer the resurrection. We're in John 13, verse 21 through 32 today. After he had said this, Jesus was troubled in spirit and testified, "I tell you the truth, one of you is going to betray me." His disciples stared at one another at a loss to know which of them he meant. One of them, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said, "Ask him which one he means." Leaning back against Jesus, he asked him, "Lord, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It's the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I've dipped it in the dish." Then dipping the piece of bread, he gave to Judas Iscariot, son of Simon. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. What you're about to do quickly," Jesus told him. But no one at the meal understood why Jesus said this to him. Since Judas had charge of the money, some thought Jesus was telling him to buy what was needed for the feast or to give something to the poor. As soon as Judas had taken the bread, he went out, and it was night. When he was gone, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself and will glorify him at once." It's a powerful verse, a powerful glimpse into the last night of Jesus. And I've been struck as I've read this at this statement in verse 31. Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. And as I think about that verse, and it seems to me it's a bit premature for Jesus to be saying this in a lot of ways, because the cross is still several hours away. And yet Jesus is saying right now, God is glorified in me. And I wondered about that and why Jesus would say that at this time. And I came to the conclusion that I believe Jesus is at the point of no turning back, that he knows he has made his decision, his course is set, and he is going to follow the will of the Father. Are you there? Or are you at the point of no return? I can still think back at my first testimony, and I can't remember if I gave it or didn't give it as a kid. But the story was told of a marathon runner that walked half of the marathon and then decided it was too much and walked back the other half. And I can remember as a kid thinking how silly that was. And I can remember thinking in a church when I was probably 9 or 10 years old of giving a testimony about going too far not to finish the race. Now, I hope I didn't give that testimony because I was only 9 or 10 years old and I hadn't gone that far yet. But at this point in my life, I hope I've gone far enough that I can look back and say I've went too far not to finish the race. I think of the song that we sing at times. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. I hope on this Wednesday before the crucifixion of Jesus, before Easter Sunday, I hope you've reached the point where there's no turning back. Have a blessed day.